So the first ghost that we're going to be going over today is the spirit. And with that being said, the spirit is a more common ghost for sure. However, it doesn't have a unique strength to it. But don't take that for granted. It's still very powerful and very dangerous, especially when your sanity starts getting low. So you guys need to keep track of that. With that being said, some of the weaknesses of it are smudge sticks. And with the smudge sticks, that can really stop an attack for a longer period of time. So if you're noticing that your sanity is getting lower and you're getting attacked more often, go ahead and use some smudge sticks. You're going to need a lighter for that for sure. And go ahead and you're going to have to walk around the area that you're seeing the ghost manifest. So if it's in a room, walk around that room and kind of get the smoke from the smudge sticks to go over the entire room, and that'll really slow down the hunts that you're coming across with this spirit. So the next ghost we're going to be going over is a poltergeist. And with this one, the calling card for it is being able to manipulate objects and throw huge amounts of objects around a room. I don't know about you, but I'm not about that life. So what I would do to kind of take away that aspect of it is I'd go to an empty room. Kind of makes it pretty ineffective if its main thing is it's going to be throwing a lot of things around to try and scare you if there's nothing in the room. That's what I would do. It's definitely a way to play. But I'm not about things being thrown all around me and having that being what's causing fear. With this one, you can also has a cool way of figuring out what it is based on the evidence. So with this, ghost orbs and fingerprints, this combo of evidence, the poltergeist is the only ghost in the game that can have it. So it's the only ghost in the game that you can really 100% figure out what it is with only 2 pieces of evidence, and it has to be ghost orbs and fingerprints. Next, we have a phantom. And with this ghost, you can have a little bit of fun as far as the Ouija boards, because it's usually, it's commonly summoned by a Ouija board. But this ghost actually brings in a lot of fear to the game. And with that, it plays into its strength is it's going to drop your sanity really, really fast. Basically, when you're looking at the phantom, your sanity is going to drop super, super quickly. And that's kind of one of its calling cards. So if you're noticing in the truck that some of your teammates' sanities are dropping very, very quickly, especially when they are seeing the ghost, this one, it drops a lot faster than most of the other ghosts. So that's going to be something that's pretty obvious when trying to figure out what kind of ghost it is. Also, with this, flashes from photos actually start slowing it down. However, it will not work during a hunt. So if you're being attacked and you start snapping pictures of it, it's not really going to help you at all. It may make you feel a little bit better seeing as you can see the ghost with the flash, but it's not actually going to save you from it. So what I would do with this one is really mess around with the Ouija board to try and figure out where it's at, and then really watch your sanity. Have somebody in the truck looking at your sanity, making sure that it's not dropping below 50%, because that's when it's really going to all go downhill and you're going to get more common attacks or more attacks in a shorter period of time. So the next ghost we're going to be going over is the Wraith. Now with a Wraith, they're very, very dangerous. They're very aggressive. They're one of the only ghosts in the game that can fly. One of the other things that it can do is it can travel through walls. So if you're trying to hide in a room and you're hoping that it doesn't come in and you close a door, it doesn't really necessarily mean it's going to actually stop anything. The Wraith can go right through the wall, and it also can see through the walls. So if you're hiding in kind of an open area and everything, one, it's going to be able to see you, and if you go into a room and close a door, it could still find you in there, which is why it's very, very dangerous. One of the ways you can kind of figure out it is a Wraith is if you throw down salt. Now, with most salts, or with most ghosts, you're going to be seeing footprints if they walk through the salt. Not necessarily with the Wraith. The Wraith may leave a footprint in the salt, but around the pile of salt, there may not be any other footprints to find. And that's because this ghost can fly. So salt is toxic to it, so it's going to definitely slow it down and make it's not going to like it. But one of the things that it's going to show you is the ghost is probably flying around, which, seeing as this is the only ghost that can do it, is a way for you to figure out what kind of ghost it is before it gets super aggressive and get you out, and you can get out of there. So this next ghost we're going over is a Banshee. It's another one of the aggressive ghosts in the game, but with this one, it targets one person at a time. So it's kind of easier to figure out who that person is because it kind of picks one person and sticks with him. So if you're noticing that one person is being targeted over and over and over, and there's multiple people in the room, it's probably a Banshee. With that, the Banshee does not like a crucifix. So if you notice that it's attacking the one person, you basically can have that person use a crucifix, or any of you guys can use a crucifix, drop it down in the area that it's manifesting, that you're seeing it appear. And if it's within 5 meters before it starts going into a hunt, it'll stop the hunt. It'll basically stop all of it from happening. And with the Banshee, it's 5 meters versus every other ghost, it's 3 meters. So the Banshee definitely does not like the crucifix. Now, with the Banshee, you can basically use the fact that it's going after one person to your advantage, because all the rest of you guys can be taking pictures of it and doing all these other things to try and knock out all the little objectives on the whiteboard and get some money while it's attacking one of your buddies. So, yay for them. It'll definitely work out well for you guys, but that's the Banshee. So the Djinn is up next, and with the Djinn, this is a fast ghost that's very territorial. You're going to have a hard time outrunning the Djinn. But with this ghost here, turning off the fuse box is something that's going to weaken and slow the ghost down. So you can have somebody over there just turning on or turning off the fuse box, and that's going to help kind of lower the chances of hunts and all that kind of stuff. It's really going to slow this ghost down. One of its calling cards that you're going to see is it loves to mess with electronics. So it's going to be turning lights on and off, ringing phone, or the phone's going to ring, car alarms are going to go off. All these kind of things are going to be happening around the Djinn. So that's something that's going to really stick out when dealing with a Djinn. So the Mare is going to be up next. And with this one, the Mare is known to be like the ghost of darkness and nightmares, right? So this ghost loves and is better when attacking while it's dark. So lights really mess this ghost up. So what you're going to want to do is have somebody near a fuse box or a light source and being able to turn it on and keep it on, because that's going to slow this ghost down because it really likes darkness. However, it's similar to a Djinn in the fact that it likes to mess with the lights. But unlike the Djinn, where the lights are going to be going on and off at a relatively similar, frequency, the Mare is really going to be turning them off and then leaving them off and trying to keep everything as dark as possible. So that's something that's going to really keep this ghost standing out amongst the other ghosts. So this one's going to turn everything off and leave it off. Revenant is the next ghost we're going to be going over. The Revenant is super aggressive towards everyone. This ghost also is really fast during hunts, so you're not going to be able to outrun him. The best thing to do as far as tip-wise goes with a Revenant, as soon as a hunt starts, hide as soon as possible. Hiding from this ghost is something that's going to slow it down. But what makes this ghost so dangerous is most ghosts, when they pick a target, they stick with that target during the hunt. Now, a Revenant, when it's hunting, if it comes across a player that's closer to him than the initial target was, it will change targets mid-hunt and go after that person immediately. So everyone is in danger when this ghost goes into hunt. So that's something that you really need to keep in mind with this ghost, is you're not safe during a hunt, even if you were not the initial target. So this next ghost, there's not a whole lot to say as far as tips and tricks with it, and it's the Shade. And the reason for that is because it's a very shy ghost. It's definitely going to try to it could even potentially stop all paranormal activity when there's multiple people around. It's one of those ghosts that's going to be really hard to find evidence on. So if you're finding that you're at an investigation around a house and you're just not finding anything, it's probably a shade. Now, this next ghost is one of the ones that I hate to deal with, and that's the demon. And the demon is so dangerous because it attacks without reason. So typically you can go into a house or whatever building that you're going into, and you can start saying the ghost's name and trying to piss it off and all that kind of stuff just to get it to do something. A demon, not so much. You just kind of go in and it can just decide it wants to hunt you and kill you. So that's what makes this ghost very dangerous. It also attacks pretty often. So it's a very active, dangerous ghost, which makes it even more dangerous. So with dealing with this ghost, you're definitely going to want to have an escape route. You're going to want sanity pills. And you're going to want your deterrents like smudge sticks and crucifixes and all those kind of things that are kind of slow it down a little bit. One cool thing with this ghost, with a demon, is if you are going to be talking to it through a Ouija board, if the question that you're asking and if it answers back, you won't lose sanity. Now, if you ask a question and nothing happens, you're going to lose a ton of sanity, which this ghost is already super aggressive and attacks often. So this makes it even more dangerous for you to mess with. The Yuri is one of those ghosts that is very similar to some of the other ones, especially the Phantom. So with the Yuri, your sanity is going to be dropping with this ghost, but instead of it just being one person, where their sanity is dropping, it's going to be everybody. Everyone's sanity is going to be dropping very, very quickly. Versus the Phantom, that one individual or whoever is looking at the Phantom, their sanity is going to be dropping. With the Yuri, everyone's going to be dropping. This ghost definitely does not like smudge sticks. So if you are able to figure out what room the ghost is in or where the area that it's in, if you were to use smudge sticks, it's going to slow down that hunt. It's going to slow down that ghost for a long period of time, and that allows you to kind of get better set up to find more evidence on it, and also knock out some of the other objectives. The last ghost we're going to be going over is the Oni. So this one is basically the demon's cousin. It's very similar to the demon as far as it being very aggressive and just kind of attacking whenever it wants. However, this one becomes stronger when people are in groups. So if you're all grouped together, the Oni's going to love it. Also, because it's so much more active than the other ghosts, it's actually going to be easier to figure out because there's going to be more things happening for people to actually log and figure out, get those 3 pieces of evidence to figure out what it is. Now with that, because it's so much more active and so much easier to figure out, I mean, you may die a lot faster as well. So some of the faster investigations, or when you die really, really quickly, it's probably because you're facing an Oni, and it's a very, very dangerous ghost to come across. So I hope you guys found that to be useful. Definitely was something I had to figure out along the way. So it's something that I wish I knew going into the game. So let me know what you guys thought of it. Go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button for me, especially if you guys want me to go over any other content. Go ahead and leave that down in the comment section. Let me know what you guys like to see. And I look forward to talking with you guys and covering future content that you guys request. All right, catch you guys later.